Look at the era we live in. We call this the information age. Satellites in the sky, fiber cables on the ocean floor, chips in our pockets. We can track every living thing that breathes, every machine that moves. We believe we live in a world where getting lost is impossible. This is our greatest arrogance. And March 8, 2014 is the date when this arrogance was shattered. That night, a giant marvel of engineering. Boeing 777, 64 meters wingspan. A fortress of steel and titanium, traveling at 600 kilometers per hour. 239 heartbeats in it. Fathers, mothers, newlyweds, artists returning home. And then nothingness. There is no distress call. There is no explosion noise. There is no burning debris. It was as if God reached down from the sky, picked up that plane, and destroyed it. The story of MH370 is not just a story of a plane crash. This is the helplessness of technology in the face of nature. This is a perfectly planned, cold-blooded destruction. Fasten your seat belts. Because the destination of this journey is a place that is not on the maps. The darkest, coldest bottom of the ocean. Kuala Lumpur International Airport. The humidity and heat of the tropical night settled over the track. There is that familiar airport rush in the terminal building. Take a good look at these faces reflected in security cameras. Because this is the last image of them on Earth. There you have it, a group of 19 Chinese artists. Returning from the exhibition, they are tired but happy. Next door, a young couple on their honeymoon. They are making plans for the future. And Catherine and Bob Lawton. An Australian couple. They can't wait to enjoy their retirement and get back to their grandchildren. They all board Flight 370 to Beijing. As they settle into their seats, two men in the cockpit make final checks. In the captain's chair, Zaharie Ahmad Shah. 53 years old. He is the rock star of Malaysia Airlines. More than 18,000 hours of flight experience, a man with a passion for aviation who has a flight simulator he built at home. A cheerful-looking grandfather who shares recipes on social media. But was there a darkness behind that smile that no one knew about? Right seat, Fareeq Abdul Hamid. 27 years old. Young, handsome, full of life. His fiancée is also a pilot for another airline. They are about to get married. For Fareeq, this flight is a formality to complete his training. He admires Captain Zaharie. The time is 0:41. The tower allows it. Two Rolls-Royce engines roar. A 250-ton metal pile defies gravity and rises into the night. Below, the lights of Kuala Lumpur are shrinking. And those 239 people are seeing civilization for the last time. The first 40 minutes of the flight were textbook perfection. The aircraft climbed to an altitude of 35,000 feet. It went into level flight. The cabin crew served coffee. The lights dimmed. Most of the passengers fell asleep. The aircraft was approaching the boundary of Malaysian airspace. Ahead of them was Vietnamese airspace. The time is 1 hour 19 minutes and 29 seconds. The tower gave its final instructions: Malaysia 370, Contact Ho Chi Minh on frequency 120.9. Good night. A voice from the cockpit answered. According to voice analysis experts, this voice belonged to Captain Zaharie. Beware. Controlled. Not in a hurry. Goodnight, Malaysia 370. These 3 words. It was the last the world heard from them. Was this a farewell? Or is it the beginning of a terrible plan? Because exactly 1 minute and 43 seconds after that sentence, the world changed. Please listen carefully here. This is the most crucial point of the incident. The time is 1:21. The aircraft is at a navigation point called IGARI. Right in that blind spot between the radars of 2 countries. At that very second, someone in the cockpit. A hand reached out. And he turned off the transponder, the device that broadcast the plane's identity to the world. This was not an accident. In case of fire, pilots put on their masks and shout, "Mayday." They do not turn off the transponder. If there had been an electrical failure, the plane's other systems would have gone out, but the plane continued to fly. The person who did this knew the Boeing 777 systems like the back of his hand. Right in that blind spot, it rendered the plane both blind and deaf. In seconds. Malaysian control tower thought it had transferred the plane to Vietnam. The Vietnamese tower saw that the plane never arrived. And that huge plane disappeared from the radar and turned into a ghost. So, did the plane crash? No. The real horror was now beginning. Civilian radars were blind. The world thought the plane had crashed. But the army was not sleeping. Malaysian military radar detected an unidentified object, a UFO, in the sky that night. This was MH370. But he was no longer going to Beijing. The plane had been taken off autopilot. It was manually turned to the left in a very hard and aggressive maneuver. From where? Why would a pilot divert a plane full of 239 people off course and in the opposite direction? The theories are blood-curdling. Experts estimate that the aircraft exceeded 40,000 feet during this rotation. That is, he says it has climbed well above the safe limit. Do you know what happens at this altitude? If the pilot reduces cabin pressure, the oxygen masks will drop. But the oxygen in those masks is only enough for 15 minutes. Passengers. Those innocent people sleeping and watching movies. First they get dizzy. Then they slowly faint. And in the end, they die silently, without pain. Hypoxia. But the cockpit has a separate oxygen source. Enough for hours. If this theory is true, by the time the plane returned over Malaysia, all 238 people in the cabin had already died. Only one person was alive on the plane. Oxygen Maskasini Takmis, Segukanlalikla Ukagi Y110 Okisi. The aircraft crossed the Malaysian peninsula. And then, he did something very interesting. It tilted slightly over Penang Island. Penang. Birthplace of Captain Zaharie. House. Do you know what this is called in aviation? Farewell return. Was this a pilot's last look at his hometown before committing suicide? Or was co-pilot Farik trying to perform a miracle and save the plane? At that moment, Farik's mobile phone sent a signal to a base station on the ground. It's only a millisecond connection. Maybe he tried to send a message. Maybe he tried to call the police. We'll never know, because the plane didn't stop. He crossed the Strait of Malacca, then the Andaman Sea, and finally, he came to the place where civilization ended. Before him lay only the dark, cold, and endless Indian Ocean. The plane pointed its nose south, on a route to nowhere, and the world's loneliest journey began. Months passed, years passed, billions of dollars were spent. The largest search operation in history was conducted, but the ocean did not give back what it took. Until 2015, a piece of a wing washed up on Reunion Island, off the coast of Africa. A piece of a wing, a flaperon. This piece tells us one thing: the plane had crashed. But the fuselage, the black boxes, and most importantly, those 239 people, they are still missing. The children who waited for their fathers have grown up. Those who waited for their husbands have grown old. They don't even have a grave to mourn in. Their grave is the deepest, darkest, and coldest ocean in the world. Today, we land robots on Mars. We see the edges of the universe. But on our own planet, we can't find a whole airplane. MH370 is the ultimate blow to the hubris of the modern world. It reminds us that no matter how much control we think we have, the unknown is always one step ahead. Perhaps one day, technology will advance so far that we will illuminate that dark chasm at the bottom of the ocean. And when that day comes, what will we see when we open the cockpit door? A hero, or a killer? Until then, MH370 isn't just an aviation mystery. It's an eternal wait. I'm Onyx Able. On the edge of the unknown, we're in pursuit of the truth. Goodnight Malaysia 370. Wherever you are.